Good morning, Woodland Pond. I'm Deborah. About to do an hour of yoga. So if you will get yourself into your favorite seated position, you can be on a kitchen chair like that, sitting forward with your feet on the floor, looking like the number 11, your knees and feet hip width apart. If you want, you can sit on the floor on a zafu or rolled up mat or whatever, cross-legged, lotus, half lotus, whatever. Once you get your lower body organized, we're going to roll our pelvis forward so we can come up onto our sits bones. Then we'll pull our abs in and up. We'll lift our breastbone, ask our shoulder blades to go down and slide down our backs, balance our head on our necks, and let's close our eyes for a few seconds to ask ourselves how we're doing this morning. How are your joints? How are your sinuses? How's your mood? Then let's open our eyes. We'll extend our arms, palms up, inhale up. Let's do 2 fountain breaths. Good. We'll let that go and let's push away our imaginary wall. Really straighten those elbows, fan out your hands. See if you can get your fingers as far apart as possible. Then make a soft little fist and point your fist at the floor. Back to the imaginary wall. Then index finger to thumb and squeeze. Second, third, fourth. Backwards. Fourth, third, second, and first. Good. We'll shake that out. And let's play a few piano scales, giving every little joint an opportunity to flex. And then palms up and gently let your hands flop so that we can stretch the inside of the wrist. Good. We'll let that go, give everything a loosening wiggle, and let's say good morning to our shoulders. Pick a shoulder and roll that shoulder forward in the largest circle you can before going backwards. We're getting the fluids moving, we're warming it up. Good, let that go. And we'll do the other side, of course. Good morning, shoulder. And go backwards. Of course, the speed with which you do this is entirely up to you. You can do them fast, you can do them slow. Good, and we'll let that go as well with a loosening wiggle and a breath. Good, alrighty, so let's make our little hooks. Bring our hooks together. Our elbows are up, but our shoulders are down. Pull as if you could separate your hands. Nice sustained pressure, breathing all the while, making sure your chest is still lifted, and then let that go. Now this time we're going to do the push mechanism, so you can put your hands together in prayer position, or you can put your knuckles together. Either way works, and if you have wrist issues, the knuckle version is going to work better. So it's this nice sustained pushing against one another, breathing all the way. Good. We'll let that go. Let's go back to our little hooks and pull. Keeping our chest lifted, keeping our head up, and breathing. Good. We'll let that go. We're going to go back to the pushing posture. Breathing. And we're activating all of these muscles throughout our upper torso. Good. Let that go. Give everything a loosening wiggle and take a breath. Good. So let's do some side stretches this morning. We're going to take your left hand, put it on the floor or your chair, stretch up really tall, lean into your left arm, and reach to the left, looking at the wall opposite, not the floor, and breathing as all the little muscles up and down your right side open. Come on back to center. Right hand on the floor or the chair, stretch up really tall, Lean into your right hand, reaching to the right, looking at the wall opposite, and feeling the stretch on the left. Come on back to center. Good. All right. Left arm down, right arm stretching up, leaning to the left. The amount of lean to the left is dependent on where you feel the stretch. If you're not feeling the stretch, go deeper. Come on back to center. Good. Right arm down, left arm stretching up, leaning into your right arm, breathing. And release it. Give some loosening motions to your shoulders. Let that work and effort go. Good. Now, let's do some cat and cow stretches. So our head is coming forward and our belly is going backwards as we exhale down. As we inhale, we're lifting our breastbone, looking up. And you just go back and forth, exhaling down, inhaling up at whatever pace works for your body, because you are in charge of your body. If anything I suggest doesn't work for your body because of arthritis, pain, surgery, injury, just skip it. And when you've done enough of that, just come back to center. And now we're going to do the stir the pot. So we're going to pretend that our spine is a wooden spoon. In the bowl of our pelvis, we are making pancake batter. Go around and around, and then go backwards. Excellent. Okay, come back to center, sit up nice and tall with your breastbone lifted. Now we're going to work on the top of our neck. So we're going to have our nose be our pointer, and we're going to draw a figure 8 on its side using our nose. And this is opening and closing the discs of the top 3 vertebrae of our neck. Stop and go backwards. And you can listen to all the funny noises that your neck is making. Everybody's neck makes the funny noises. Good. And when you're finished with that, loosen up a wee bit, and let's do the rest of our neck. So now, sitting up straight and tall, keep your breastbone lifted. That's your job. And allow your chin to approach your chest without letting your chest sink. When you hit the natural stopping point, just stop. Feel the big muscle across your shoulder begin to open, and all by itself, your chin will be able to go a little bit lower. Not a lot, a little bit. When you've achieved what you think is your maximum stretch, roll your right ear to the right. Now your right ear is looking at your shoulder and you're looking at the wall opposite. When you're ready, you can nod a slow and gentle yes. And when you feel like you're ready, you can roll your chin back to the middle and over to the left. And now your left ear is looking at your left shoulder. You're looking at the wall opposite. And you're waiting while the right side of your neck is feeling the stretch. And when you're ready, you can nod a little yes. And you can roll your chin to the middle and over to the right, back to the middle and over to the left. Some people like to go in a full circle back and forth, but that's rather controversial. Some people think it's dangerous to roll backwards. I don't do it. but it's your body, and you get to do what you want with it. When you've had enough of that, just come back to center. Good. Give everything a nice loosening wiggle. Take a breath. Very good. Okay. Now, we want to bring our hands up and interlace them behind our heads. If this is not possible for your body, I suggest that instead of doing this, you pick apples. Just go back and forth picking apples. For the rest of us, interlace your hands behind your head. Now take your elbows back any amount and release it. Back any amount. Keep breathing. Release it. Once again, back. We're strengthening the muscle of your upper back. Good. And release it. Give everything a nice loosening wiggle. Take a breath. Good. So we're about to do the frog stretch. So we have a nice hip opener. So I'm going to get up and do it from the chair because I think this works so well from the chair. Okay, so I'm sitting way forward on the chair, which gives me the room to spread my knees nice and wide, and I can rest my hands on my knees. Now we're going to go down, but we're not going down like a limp noodle. The object here is to keep our head and chest up so we have a nice flat back. If we do this, we'll get the stretch to come out of our big hip joint. And so that's what we plan to do. Keeping your head and chest up, lean forward, and just lean forward until you comfortably come to the stopping place of comfortable. And some people will have to stop sooner than others, and that's okay. Don't worry about it. When you get to the comfortable stopping point, just stop. Breathe encouragement into your hip joints. Ask them to open. And then patiently wait for a response. Some of you may be able to go a wee bit lower. Keep breathing. Keep giving those joints encouragement. When you've been here as long as you want to be here, all you have to do is pick up your head and chest and return to vertical. There we go. Let's stand up. All righty. As we are wont to do, we are going to start with Tadasana. So we're going to put our feet on the floor, looking like the number 11. They're nice and parallel, hip width apart. If you want to know what that means, just put your two fists together, put them on the floor between your feet, and there you go. All righty. Feel the floor. Feel all of the bottom of your foot. Make sure that each quadrant of your foot is doing its fair share of holding you up. And then pull yourself up through your legs. You can tuck your pelvis a tiny bit, and then really pull your abs in and up as you lift your breastbone, asking your shoulder blades to slide down your back, balancing your head on your neck, and there we are. Tadasana, the mountain posture. In this posture, we are defying gravity, which is relentless. This posture allows our muscles to work together so that we are nicely balanced. Let's bring our arms out, interlace your hands, noting which finger is on top. Reverse your palms, stretch up tall, bring your hands behind your back, interlace, send them as low as they'll go, and lift into chest expansion. And take a nice deep breath. Feel the stretch across your chest and release it. Give everything a loosening wiggle. Then bring your arms out again with the other finger on top. Reverse, stretch. Bring your arms behind your back, interlace the weird way, send them as low as they'll go, and lift. Breathe a nice big breath. And release it. Let's Shake out your legs, let them know that is over. Give everything a nice loosening wiggle. And we've now been working, strengthening our shoulders a wee bit. So let's do the eagle and we'll stretch them a bit. It's always nice to work a muscle and then stretch it. So it's one elbow under the other. But if you have any trouble getting one elbow under the other and then pulling your palms together, it's perfectly okay simply to rest your hands on your shoulders. When you get here, feel the giant stretch across your back. If you'd like, you can lift your elbows. Breathe comfort into those stretching muscles. And if you want, you can push your hands away from your face. Keep breathing. Now you can stay as long as you like, but if you're ready to come out of it, simply unpretzel, let them swing, take a nice breath, and now we're going to do the other elbow on top. Feel how different the stretch is in this configuration than last time. You can lift your elbows if you wish. And if you want, you can push your hands away from your face. Breathe comfort and encouragement into those stretching muscles. We never force a stretch. We encourage a stretch. And then release it. Oh, it feels so nice when it's over. Let them swing a bit. Feel the blood rushing back into your arms. Good. Shake out your legs. Alrighty, so we're going to do a little standing motion that we have done a couple of times before. We're going to spread our feet on our sticky mat. The sticky mat is important because we don't want our legs to surprise us by zipping apart. We want to be firmly anchored on the floor. Now, bend your knees. Stick out your butt. You can rest your hands on your knees. Once you get down into a semi-crouch, extend one knee. Then bend it again and extend the other knee. Come back to center. Extend the first knee. Come back to center. Extend the second knee. You can do this at your own pace. If you come out of the rhythm that I've set, don't give it a thought. Everybody has a slightly different rhythm. It's not the rhythm that counts. It's the doing. We're working our leg muscles and our gluteus maximus. When you come back to center next time, stand up. Good. Shake out your legs. Take a deep breath. Good. So it's time to do one of our strengthening exercises. I think we did Warrior 2 and 3 most recently. So let's do Warrior 1. For Warrior 1, we want to have our safety equipment nearby. So that means your chair. We use it like a ballet bar because we do not want anybody falling down. Remember that your mat has a left lane and a right lane. You want to keep your left foot in the left lane, right foot in the right lane. And you're going to step forward with your left foot. Your left hand is on the chair. You're going to bend your left knee so it's lined up over your left ankle. If you look back, you'll see that your right toes are pointing off at roughly a 45-degree angle. So at this point, if you put your hands on your hips, Your hips are probably going off at a 45-degree angle also. Let's bring them back so that your hips are facing the same direction as your left toes. And your shoulders are also facing the direction of your left toes. Here we are. Once you get to this point, you can decide what to do with your arms. You can leave them on your hips. You could put them in prayer position. You could do goddess arms. You could do yoga mudra arms. You could do palms facing. Choose a posture for your arms that you prefer, and there we are. Breathe. And while we stand here in this pose, scan your body, looking for anything that you would like to improve, whether it's tightening up a slack belly, lowering your shoulders, or whatever. Now, if your arms are getting tired and they're beginning to sag, that's not so good. You would be better at this point to bring your arms down into a lower position rather than having them sag. It's up to you. When you're ready to come out of it, it's very simple. You bring your arms down, you step forward onto your left foot, take a deep breath, shake out your legs, wiggle everything else, and there we go. So now we're ready to do the same thing for the right side. So I'm turning around so that my right hand is on my chair, and this time I'm going to step forward with my right foot. My right knee is lined up over my right ankle. My left toes are running off at a 45-degree angle. I put my hands on my hips and I can see that I'm facing over there. So now I'm going to bring my hips back to face forward and my shoulders are lined up over my hips. And now I'm ready to decide what I'd like to do with my arms. This is what I think I'd like to do. And so here I am. Breathing, feeling the power of my legs, feeling the power of my arms. Checking in with my abs. Yep, they're on duty. Checking in with my shoulders. They need a little encouragement to go down 0.5 millimeter. And breathing. The other thing you can do in this posture is to harden your gaze as though you're staring at an enemy or shooting energy forwards, whichever you prefer. As on the other side, if your arms are getting tired and sagging, move them to a lower position so that you're more comfortable. And when you're ready to come out of it, all you have to do is bring your arms down, step forward onto your right foot, shake out your legs, take a deep breath. Good. Give everything a nice loosening wiggle. Good, all righty. So that's good. So we've done a power move. I think it's time for us to do our inversion, which will allow us to get our head below our hearts. So we're going to put our feet back into Tadasana, and we're going to head for the floor, not like a wet noodle. We're going to go down with intent in a swan dive, keeping a nice flat back. So we'll inhale up. Stretch forward and release your back, release your neck. The top of your head should be pointed at the floor. And now you can begin to feel the stretch up and down the backs of your legs. Breathe encouragement into them. And encourage them to slowly begin to open. I don't know how well you can see this on your TV, but when I first got into the posture, my fingers were just barely touching the floor. And now the backs of my knuckles are on the floor. Twist to the right, take hold of whatever you find over there, and notice how the stretch has changed. Keep breathing. Come back to center. Stretch to the left, take hold of whatever is over there. Once again, the stretch is very different over here. When you're ready, come back to center. Put your hands on your thighs. Come up to a flat back and stand up. Loosen your shoulders. Shake out your legs. Take a nice breath. And there we are. That's good. That's what we like to do. All right, so let's take a little walk around our circle. Lay out a little 3 or 4 foot diameter circle on your floor. No furniture or anything like that. Turn to your right. Walk around your little circle, taking the largest steps you comfortably can until you get back to the starting point. Now let's go backwards. When we get back to the starting point, we're just going to turn around 180 degrees. I'm going to back up so I don't run over my block. And I'm walking forward again. Coming back to the beginning, I'm going backwards. I have to watch out for my block. Missed it. Good. And there we are. As usual, give everything a nice wiggle. Take a breath. Good. Okay, so let's do a little work for our side stabilizers. I'm going to drag out my chair. I have my left hand on my chair, standing on my left leg. I'm going to bring my right leg across my left leg, then out to the side and behind, out to the side and in front. Every time I bring my leg out to the side, I am careful to keep my right toes pointed straight ahead, not off to the right, so that I'm working the correct set of muscles. I don't know about you, but when I exercise, I do not want to waste the effort that I am putting into it. But that's me. Okay, when you're done, shake out the standing leg, shake out the other leg, take a breath. All righty, so now it's time to put our right hand on the chair. We're going to stand on our right leg, pick up your left leg, cross it in front, out to the side, cross it in back, out to the side, cross it in front. And as before, the key thing here is to keep your left toes facing forward, even when your foot is out to the side. In addition to working those side stabilizers, we're also exercising the standing ankle. There are a lot of little muscles in there that are essential for our balance and our ability to walk. Good. Step down, shake out the standing leg. Good. The other leg. Good. All righty. So now this time we're going to sit on our chair and we're going to pick up a foot and we're going to massage the bottom of the foot. You can use your thumbs, you can use your knuckles, you can use your fist, whichever works for you. But we simply want to get into the bottom of the foot and squeeze and knead. Don't overlook your toes. They deserve a little TLC as well. Each toe should get a little squeezing and kneading back to the foot, into the arch, around the edges, making sure that all parts of your foot are getting this nice squeezing and releasing, pushing out the old fluid so that the new fluid can come rushing in. Good. All right, so put that foot down. Now feel how that foot feels. Pretty good. All right, so let's do the same treatment for the other foot. Now, if you cannot reach your foot, and that's a possibility, I realize that, you may do this from the standing position. As you know, we often stick a foot out, bend that knee over that foot, and then make that knee do a circle around that foot. If you have trouble sitting down and reaching your foot the way I'm doing it here, I understand. Just do the version that we do from a standing position, and your foot will be happier for it. This flesh doesn't get much attention from us. It deserves as much TLC as we give the rest of our body. And it'll be healthier because we're giving it this attention. We want healthy feet. Painful feet are on nobody's wish list. Okay, when you're ready, now feel the bottoms of your feet. They should feel really invigorated and tingly. That's a good thing. All right, so we're about to get down onto the floor. So I realize many of you are not interested in doing that. So I wish you a wonderful weekend. It's going to be hot. Today is cool and delightful. So a little time on your balcony is a great idea. I wish you namaste. I'll see you back here Monday morning, 10 a.m. Actually, we might even start 5 minutes earlier. I don't know, we'll see. So see you then. Okay, floor yogis. Let's get down into tabletop. So here we are. Our arms are shoulder width apart, our hands are shoulder width apart, our knees are hip width apart, and our arms are nice and straight, unless you have wrist issues, in which case you can come right up onto your knuckles and keep your wrists straight, or you can go right down onto your elbows and keep your wrists straight this way. Any way is fine, either of those variations. So let's do some cat and cow stretches. Head down, belly up, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. And when you're ready, you can return to neutral. Let's head and hips to the right, head and hips to the left, back to the right, back to the left, giving our spine a nice flexing. Good. All right, so let's do a lunge. So in order to do a lunge, I like my blocks. Let's bring our right foot forward. Now, you can either wiggle your right toes forward or your left knee back, whichever you prefer, so that you have a pleasant little groin stretch going. When you've got your balance, bring your right knee up, your right elbow up to your right knee, rather. And then your left hand comes up, and you make yourself nice and vertical. Let's do the twist today. So if you can put your hands in prayer position, you're going to twist to the right. Breathe. When you're ready, come back to center, hands on knee, hands on floor. Slowly straighten your right leg. Your toes come off the floor, and you're now bowing over your right leg and leaning forward. If you lower your head and chest a wee bit, you'll intensify that hamstring stretch. If it's too much, raise your head and chest a bit. You are in control of how much stretch you're getting. Breathe into it. When you're ready to come out of it, slowly begin to move your pelvis forward. Your right knee bends, your right toes come to the mat. Pick up your right hand, bring it to the left side of your right foot. Bring your right foot backwards, bring your left foot forward, and you put yourself into the lunge over here. And again, you can scoot your left toes forward, right knee back until you're in a pleasant groin stretch. When you're ready, you can pick up your left elbow, then your right hand, and work yourself back to a vertical position. If your balance is good, you can put your hands together in prayer position and twist to your left. When you're ready, you can come back to center, hands on knee, hands on floor. Slowly move your pelvis backwards. Your left knee is extending, your left toes lifting, and you're bowing over your left knee. Feel the stretch. Breathe into it. Regulate yourself so that you get the optimum amount of stretch, not too much, not too little. You can explore that edge. When you're ready to come out of it, slowly move your pelvis forward. Come back to the lunge. Pick up your left hand, put it on the right side of your left foot, and move your foot backwards. Good. Okay. I goofed. I forgot the seated spinal twist this morning. So it's absolutely essential that we do thread the needle. So we're going to come back into tabletop for thread the needle. Once again, don't forget to move your knees so that they're hip width apart. I know some folks have difficulty remembering that. Okay, we're going to pick up our left arm, pointed at the ceiling. Bring it behind our right hand. Put the left side of your head on the floor next to your right hand. And there we are. If you can wiggle your left hand forward a little bit, that's great. Now, you can leave your right hand where it is. You can walk it out in front of you, or you can point it at the ceiling and look at it, which deepens the twist for your upper back. All of these variations are available to you so that you can select the one you like. When you're ready to come out of it, simply bring your right arm to the mat and push. You'll come right back up into tabletop, and we're ready to do it on the other side. So this time we'll take our right arm up to the ceiling, bring it down behind your left hand, reach through as much as you can, put the right side of your head on the mat, and there we are. As before, you can leave your left hand where it is, you can walk it out in front of you, or you can bring it up to the ceiling and look at it. Feel the nice twist that this posture gives to your upper back, and breathe. When you're ready to come out of it, and if you're having such a jolly time you want to stay, feel free. but you simply put your left hand on the mat, push, and you're right back into tabletop. And since we're in tabletop, let's do a downward facing dog. Curl your toes under, push your hips up. For me, I have to wiggle my toes back a little bit. There we go. And now I'm up, but I have to push my chest back towards my knees. Now I'm in downward facing dog and breathing. I'm checking to see that my arms are nice and straight. I'm working my abs as well as my shoulders. And I think I'll bend one knee, the other knee. I am surprised because my heels are coming right down to the mat. It's good to notice what your body is doing on a given day, which might be substantially different than what it does on some other day. Now you can stay here as long as you like. I'm tired. I'm coming out of it. I'm touching my knees down, toes together, knees apart, and I'm going into child pose, resting my forehead on the floor. And I'll be taking a couple of nice deep breaths. But of course, you have the other option of rolling over onto your back and pulling your knees up onto your chest. Either pose is a wonderful rest for a back that has been working hard. There's nothing like a little feedback to annoy me into sitting up again. Okay, so let's see if I can do this with my knees up. Yes. So now, if you're not already on your back, let's all roll over onto our backs. Extend your hands along the mat next to your hips. And let's extend our legs straight up to the ceiling, keeping your feet together. Draw a little circle on the ceiling. Pull your abs in. Go backwards. Then open your legs wide. Bring your arms between your legs. Head lift is optional. Keep breathing and keep engaging your abs. When you're ready, put your head down, bring your hands down, close your legs, bend your knees, put your feet on the floor. Take a breath. Let your tummy relax. Hopefully it says, too, as it has been working. Alrighty, so now let's extend our right leg to the ceiling, point and flex your right leg. I'm sorry, not your leg, your right foot. Draw a circle on the ceiling with your ankle. Go backwards. Okay, let's extend that leg and lower it all the way to the floor. Relax your leg and your abs. Let your toes flop out. Then tighten up everything and slowly raise your leg. And do that 3 more times. The release at the bottom is very important. Don't skip it. It'll be tempting to skip, I know. But it actually is an important part of what we're doing. Last time. Good. All righty. So take that right leg, let it go to the right, heading for the floor. When it stops, pull it slowly back up and repeat that 2 more times. When you're ready to complete that, just put your foot on the floor and compare the way your right leg feels to the way your left leg feels. Then extend your left leg to the ceiling, point and flex that ankle. Rotate that ankle. Go backwards. This seems trivial, but it's very important to strengthen your ankles. Okay, now we're ready to slowly lower the left leg all the way to the floor. Relax the leg, let the toes flop, then tighten up everything and return to the starting position. And do that 3 more times. Last time. Okay, now we're ready to let our left leg drift left, heading for the floor. When it gets as low as it'll go, then bring it back up. And repeat 2 more times. When you have finished, just bend that knee, let that foot come to the floor, take a nice deep breath, and let that work and effort go while I check the time. Alrighty, looks good. Okay. So let's bring our right foot up, put your right hand into your right instep. Bring your left foot up, put your left hand in your left instep. Now, put both feet flat on the ceiling so that you're pulling your knees into your armpits and you're in happy baby. If you're not able to get both feet up at the same time, it's perfectly okay to do one side and then the other. That would be a half happy baby. Breathe into the stretching muscles. When you're ready to come out of it, all you have to do is release your hands, bring your feet to the floor, take a deep breath, and let that work and effort go. So, let's roll onto our left side. Extend your left arm above your head so you can rest your head on it. Bend your knees. Your right hand is on the floor in front of your chest, and we can now ride our giant imaginary bicycle. Go backwards. Each time we go backwards, try to reach backwards with your right foot as far as you can. Good. Now take that top leg forward once, back twice. Forward once, back twice. Good. Now bring your top knee forward and reach down with your right hand and grab those toes, foot, ankle, whatever you can. And now slowly bring your top knee down toward the bottom of your mat into a nice quadricep stretch. If you have stretch to spare, you can push your right hand and foot behind you farther into the half bow. Breathe into the stretch. When you're ready, release your foot, let it come down, let your hand come down. Straighten both legs, keep your legs together and pick them up off the floor. Also engage your abs. They should be working on this as well. This is a great core exercise. Hold those feet a few inches above the floor and breathe. When you're ready, release it by bringing your legs down and roll over onto your right side, which for me is this big rigmarole. Okay, so now your head is resting on your right arm, your legs are drawn up, your left hand's on the mat, and you can ride your giant imaginary bicycle. Go backwards if you haven't already. Good. So now we're going to kick forward once, back twice. Good. Now bend that knee so that your left knee comes forward, allowing you to reach down to grab the foot, the toes, the ankle, whatever, and slowly push your left knee towards the bottom of the mat into a lovely quadricep stretch. If you can also push your hand and foot behind you into the half bow. Breathing into the stretch. When you're ready, you can release that foot, bring your hand back to the mat, straighten both legs, keep them together, raise both legs together off the floor, pull your abs in and breathe. When you're ready to release it, simply bring both legs down and roll onto your back. Straighten out your clothing so there are no wrinkles to annoy you. And bring both knees up onto your chest, give them a nice hug, take a deep breath, and let that work and effort go. Then put your left foot on the floor, slide it out until it's straight, and pull your right knee towards you on the exhale and let it rebound on the inhale. The wind relieving posture. And of course, you're doing this at your own rhythm. You're not trying to match mine. Then bring your left knee up, transfer your hands to your left knee, put your right foot on the floor, stretched out straight, and continue. So when you're ready to release it, just release it, because now it's time to get ready for deep relaxation. So if you have blankets, pillows, cushions, socks, sweatshirts, whatever you have that will keep you warm and comfy while we do our deep relaxation, now is the time to get it out. Today, I'm going to use the variation where I'm going to put my feet and lower legs into a chair. This is very, very nice for a tired back. Or a lot of people with sciatica report that this is comfortable as well. Since I don't have sciatica, I cannot vouch for that. But once you get yourself into your preferred position, it's important to close your eyes and begin to scan your body, looking for groups of muscles that are still in achievement mode. And see if you can encourage them to let go. Now, one of the improvements that I just did for myself is something that you can also do for yourself. And that is to take your upper arms and rotate them outward toward the floor, any amount. This will open your shoulder joint slightly, which is a positive development. So what you're doing is you're rotating your upper arm bone away from your torso. And it's only a small amount. Don't try and put your palms on the floor doing this. That's not going to happen. When you have finished scanning your body looking for achievement-oriented muscles, you can begin to just focus your attention on your breathing. See if you can elongate your inhalation and your exhalation a little bit. So if you've been breathing, inhaling to a count of 2 and exhaling to a count of 2, see if you can inhale to a count of 3 and exhale to a count of 3. If, however, you always inhale to a count of 3 and exhale to a count of 3, see if you can do it to a count of 4, etc. One of the curious results of elongating your breathing is that it helps you quiet your mind. We all have monkey minds with random thoughts crashing around in our minds. They pop in, say, "I'm important, think about me." But they're actually not important in this moment here. And if we can slow our breathing, we can screen out a lot of that noise. And just the way clenching our muscles requires energy and makes us tired, trying to pay attention to all of those random thoughts that keep crashing around in our heads is exhausting. So simply by turning our attention to the elongation of our breath, we can grant ourselves a little space and a little peace wherein we can find rest. So now it's time for us to wiggle our fingers and toes, make any loosening motions that will feel good before we roll to one side to come up to a seated position, where we'll sit up nice and tall, put our hands in prayer position, close our eyes, lower our heads, and give thanks for this day. Then raising our heads and opening our eyes, we can think about each member of our group and say, Namaste. May you all have an excellent weekend. I hope to see you back here Monday morning at 9:55 or thereabouts. Same time, same station.